Hey, welcome to this video. In this video, we will take a look at the options you have to edit the word ladder that is created when you click on one of these page layouts. As you know, in the previous video, we saw that clicking on one of these page layouts is going to insert that specific page layout onto the canvas for you to edit it further. Okay, so in this video, we will take a look at how we can edit the number of letters that we have in the words, how you can change the words that are there, and how we can add clues and probably instructions that we need to be added to the word ladder, so that we can create this entire activity based on our own words and not the default words that have been made available. Okay, so let's get started with this. First of all, when you want to edit something, like let's introduce a page here so that I can easily show you what I want to show you. So when you want to start editing a word ladder page layout that is available to you, ideally you would start at the base word, okay? And this can be anything that you fancy. One of the things that you might get confused initially on is when you click on it, you see the text over here. We will be removing this because this doesn't really serve any purpose, right? Now you might be wondering, Niranjan, if that's the case, how do we go about editing the word that is here? How do we go about editing the base word? The way you do that is by activating it first and then right click on it. You will see this option, click on Word Ladder Builder. Okay, you would see that there is a drawer that pops up from the right hand side of your screen, and here you can start making changes. So let's say we have a word cat that we want to go with. So you create the word cat, you write the word cat here, and you would see, since this is the base element, you would see that it is linking to the element itself. Now what is the difference between this cat and this cat? Well, what we are doing is we are saying that the word is cat, number one, and number two, that cat is being linked to this component, which is like, a three-letter component. The line that you see here, that is where it is being linked, and that is how they get connected together, right? So that is a concept that we have as far as linking is concerned. Now this is taken care of by default, right? You can always alter it, but for the base version, you would not want to change it at all. You would want them to be exactly similar. Okay. Now, moving forward, let's say we want to alter one word or one letter in this word so that we can have a completely different word. So I would click over here, and it would by default give me some suggestions that are related to this particular selection. Okay. Now that is something that the application does. It's smart enough to do that. But then again, there is always a finite number of options that are provided to you, and these are supposed to help you as starter words, because at the end of the day, you need to be able to create your own word lists and work with them. So you can always override something that is not included here. For now, let us just go ahead with something that is included in here. Okay, so let's say I like the word bat and I would want it to be the next word in the ladder. This is where I want it to be. Okay, so that is what I've done, and I've linked it to this component. Do you see a purple border coming up over here? That is where it is linked right now. If you think you would rather link it to this particular element, what you would do is you would go here, and you can see that, like, the purple box shows up there. You can click on that, and that is where it will start linking it to this particular component, right? This particular box, right? So the whole idea of this is to be able to link it or associate it with the appropriate box or with the appropriate component. So you want this word bat to show up here. So this is the component that you need to highlight and then click on that. That is the kind of linking that needs to be done. Now, what are the transformation types that we have? You change the letter, right? You can change any consonant, or you can change the first letter. It really depends. Again, these are things that are available so that it gives you a starting point. You don't have to stick to them because you always have the option of overriding all of these things that I'm showing you. So what have we done so far? What we have done is the second option, we have said that we want the word bat here. And as far as the transformation type is concerned, we want a letter to be changed. We want to change C to B so that it becomes bat, and the position is the first letter. The first letter is to be changed. Now what we are going to do is write the instruction. The instruction says change the first letter. This is based on the selection of transformation type you have here and the position over here. Okay, if you want, you can always change this. Okay, so let's say I would say change the letter at the beginning. I can do that as well. So you have the ability to alter the instruction, and as a measure of convenience, we have added this transformation type so that you can get started with these and play around with the various options that can be combined to create the instruction. Okay, so now once you have created the instruction, you need to connect it to one of these instruction boxes as well. So if I go here, you would see if I hover over this, there is a purple box that is coming up, right? So now you know that if I connect this, then the instructions that I've written here will be written over here, else they will go to some other place which is there on the ladder, right? You can play around with them. You can try to make some mistakes here, like you can try to connect various things, and you'll be able to kind of understand what is going on. Say for example this one here, take a look at this. If I hover over the third one, you see that the instruction is getting connected to this particular box, which is actually connected to this element. So that's not the right thing to do. For us, the right thing to do is connect this word back to this instruction box, and that is the reason why when we hover over this, we see a purple box here, and thus we connect them, right? So this is what we have. The clue is a small chunk. You can always alter that as well. For example, in this particular case, a small chunk is definitely not a clue for bat. So we could say you play baseball with this, right? So this is a relevant clue that is applicable to the word that we have here. All right, so now that we have done this, now we have got the word bat. What would be the next word that we would want? So let's go ahead and click over here and go for something that is available. You can see the trend, right? There is, the selection that you get is actually intelligently thought through by the application, and it gives you options so that you can work with them easily. Of course, you always have the ability to alter these and kind of write your own word. So there's no denying that fact. But for now, let's just go ahead and proceed with whatever is available. So how about we go for hat? Okay, this word is hat, and what we would do is we would link it to the word. Let's see this one, right? So this is the word that we would link it to. So let's go ahead and link it to this. And next, what we would do is we would change the letter, and it is the first letter. Change the first letter, right? And then what we would do is we would stick to it's not visible, but it's on the right hand side, so that is the reason why it's not visible. I would stick to that. Something you wear on your head. Okay, so that's what we have. We move on to the next one, and instead of hat, we would say rat. Like this is the letter that we would like to see. And then let's see what we have here: bat, hat, rat. So this is the last one that we want to go for. So click on that. So your linking is done. Transformation type and all. I would change the first letter. I would change the first letter. Change the first letter. And what I would do is I would say a rodent. Okay, and that's it. Once we have done this, I would come here, click over here, and this is your page with the new content. Okay, so let's align this a little bit because we just changed something that had four letters to 3 letters. So alignment has gone for a toss. You can alter all of this. Now please note that the team is working on making sure that you have options right out of the box where you'll see 3 letters, 4 letters, 5 letters, and so on. But you know what? You don't really need it because this is flexible enough to allow you to do whatever changes you want to do. Okay, so this is what we have. This is what we have in here. Right, these are all text boxes that have been designed for you. So you can change them, you can play around with them, make them as big or as small as you want. Just make sure they are visible, and you can work with them. Okay. Now this one, a rodent, change the first letter. I think this is all good. Now we have created a word ladder that is customized as per our requirement. So if you go ahead and see the solution, you would see they all would make sense. Cat, change the letter at the beginning, so you would change C to something else. You play baseball with this, you play baseball with the bat. Then what you do is change the first letter, you go from B to something else, something you wear on your head, which is hat. When you go here and click on show solution, that's what you would see. And then when you move forward to this particular place and you are talking about changing H to something else that represents a rodent, that would become a rat, right? So this is how you would go about editing all of the options that are available to you. All right, so it's pretty straightforward once you get a hang of it, right? And I'll be creating some extensive videos in the training section, mostly for the customers, where they can see what happens if you do things wrong, because that is going to give you a very different perspective and you will have a rock solid understanding of how things are connected. The whole idea is to be able to connect the letters to the component, then connect the clues and the instructions together. That's the whole concept of having them in one batch. Okay, so yeah, this is what we have now. And let's say you want to work with something that is not available in the word base, right? How do you do that? So for example, let's say I want to change this particular word. Okay, ignore these two. Let's say we want to change this particular word, and what we would do is we want to have, instead of bat, we want to have bait. Okay, so now let's go ahead and click on word ladder, right? So this is what you have. We do not want to have bat, we want to have bait, B-A-I-T. That is not available here. In such a case, what you can do is you can just type it and say create bat. So now you can see this is a custom word that has been created, and what we have done is the result word that we have is bait, and you can see we want to go from cat to bait. How would you go about that, right? How would you go about that? Now let's say, how do we link it? Are we going to link it to hat? No. Are we going to link it to bait? Yes, we are going to link it to bait. So this is what we have now. You can see there is a 4-lettered word here, but you can see that we are now changing things around. We are having change letter. This is not applicable. Add letter, remove letter, rearrange letters. So we are adding letter for sure, right? At the beginning, at end, no, this is not doing justice to the kind of instruction that we need here. So what I'm going to do is change the first letter and change the first letter and add a vowel between the last two letters, right? So this is my instruction. Now my instruction is custom done. Change the first letter and add a vowel between the last two letters, right? So this is where I simply ignored the transformation type and position and got my instruction here. And now I have got the instruction. What I would do is I would link it to the appropriate box, and this happens to be the appropriate box. So this is what I do. So I've linked it. Now bait is something you use for fishing, right? So that's how I would go about doing this. Now that I have bait, what I would do is I would change bait to because I use something that is custom, I don't have any suggestions here, right? So I would go back to bat, right? And now that I have bat here, I can always go back to linking element. So if I go here, this is the right element that is linked. I would say this one would be remove letters, right? From beginning, from end is not appropriate. So I would say remove the third letter. That would be my instruction. And I would say you play baseball with this. Okay, so now I have got the second word. This is the first one, this is the second one. Now I have got bat, and what I could do is, now that I have got bat in here, you can see again we get the suggestions. So I can just go to rat and kind of keep it as usual, and that is it. That is my new set of words that I have here, right? So let's see if this works out fine. So change the first letter. That means C needs to be changed, and add a vowel. My apologies about this typo here. Add a vowel between the last two letters. The last two letters are A and T. a vowel needs to be added in here, and this needs to be replaced with another letter to create something that is used for fishing. Okay.